small, cheap and cheerful cars.
No, they don't. There's no such thing as cheap and cheerful. There's cheap and nasty and expensive and cheerful. Just get that clear in your head.
I retract the word cheerful. Proton, they're a Malaysian company making cheap cars in a jungle clearing. But of course, the interesting thing is that they own Lotus, and they've come out with a new car, and they're saying that the way you should think of this is my first Lotus. Do you want to see it? The Proton Savvy.
First and last Lotus, if you ask me. Look at it.
It's on sale in September, and it's going to cost £7,000.
So it's actually my first Proton.
Exactly.
That's really what it is.
Get it off the screen, I don't want to see it anymore. Have you got something more interesting?
I'd like to talk about the Mustang. We drove the new Mustang on this programme last series. Well, they have now given it the power to match its looks. With this, it's the Mustang GT500. They've styled that, I know it looks fantastic, they've styled that to look a bit like the 1960s GT500. Supercharged V8, 450 brake horsepower. Now, in the States, that's going to cost the equivalent of about £20,000 for all that power and all that image, OK? Sadly, we're not going to get it over here. I know. But there is another Mustang. We've actually got one in the metal in the studio over there. It is the Mustang convertible version that they brought out. Now, amazingly, that in America is going to cost the equivalent of just £17,000. And we're not going to get that one over here either.
Why have they never sold Mustangs here?
Because they're rubbish, mate. I think I've driven the whole range now, from the original one right up to that convertible, which we arrived in today, looking like Siegfried and Roy, as you pointed out on your mobile phone.
It wasn't a good arrival. We thought... I think the problem is they've styled them to look like the 1960s Mustangs, but they drive a bit like the 1960s Mustangs, which is not
actually
what you
drove
want.
like 1940s oxen carts.
Yes, it's tricky.
You know, cars over the years have been styled to look like Sharks, BMW 6 Series,
Stingray,
Corvette and so on.
Fighter aircraft.
Lions, big
Jets.
cats. What?
Big jets.
Fighter jets. Is that Mercedes has decided that what we want is a car styled to look like a fish. There it is.
It's a small yellow fish.
It is, and they say that's the most aerodynamic shape of any creature.
Aerodynamic? It's a fish.
It is a fish. It's actually, they've got the wrong word. It's hydrogen. If you threw that through the air, it would rot, and it would just be a glutinous mess. It wouldn't work at all. Nevertheless, they say we've made a car that looks like this. Would you like to see it?
Yes, please.
Here it comes.
Oh, it does, actually.
It does look like it.
I mean, it's just potty. They say it's a bionic car.
Really?
Now, I thought bionics were like Robocar, which is sort of half flesh.
Yeah, Steve Austin. Transistors and
Yes,
muscle.
exactly.